To select a target of voters in webElect, click the targeting link on the main menu. That puts us in the region selector where we can, if we just want to include our whole entire district, we just click next page. If you want to narrow it down to just certain precincts, you can scroll to the precincts you would like and then click on the one you want to narrow it down to. To select multiple precincts, hold the command key down on Mac or the control key down on Windows and click the additional precincts that you would like. If you don't select any precincts, it's going to include your entire district. There's no need to select every precinct. Once you have your precinct selected, if you know you're going to want to target this group of precincts again in the future, you may decide to save it as a custom district because that lets you target it again real easy by just coming over here on the tree view and subsequent targeting pools and just select the custom districts that you save. So in this case, I've already saved the precincts I want here as Temple Terrace, so you can see as I click that, it brings those precincts up. Now again, since I want all those precincts, I just don't select any of them. And that puts us on the next page, which is the demographic and voting history selection. These sections work the same way. If you do not want to narrow down a section, just don't select anything in it and everybody will be included. If you click on an option in a section, it'll narrow it down to just that select that option. So in this case, I'm not going to narrow anything down. I just want to go straight to the voting history. So I'm going to be targeting every voter that matches the voting history down here. Now if I would like all Republicans, I can just check that box and every Republican's going to be selected. And we can verify that. If I click next page, we can look at the counts at the top of the next page, and that shows us how many voters have matched that criteria. I'm going to go back. I want to change that selection though, and this is a primary campaign that I'm pulling a target for, so I'm going to go after the voters that voted in at least 2 of the last 3 primary races. And so as I've checked off the elections that I'm interested in, on the right hand side is where I tell it how many of those checks I want to require that the voter voted in. So in this case, we're getting anybody that voted in 2 or 3 of these elections. Now if this is a general election or a nonpartisan race, you can target the other registered voter parties as well, putting in criteria in those boxes. Down here further, if you're wanting to know or restrict it to voters that only voted absentee, by checking that box, I'm now saying give me the people that voted absentee in at least 2 of those 3 elections. If I want the early voters, I would do the same thing here and check that box. So that's what you can do if you're wanting to send out, your last final mailings to the early voters before they go vote. You may pull a separate criteria targeting specifically them. Okay, and so if I click the next page here, we can see now our count has been reduced from 4,000 or whatever it is to only 1,100. Now these next counts here show how many households are in that target, and then the mailings count, which most of our householded lists are done by mailing address. And that is so if somebody in the house that's targeted has a different mailing address than the other people in the house, they'll also get that mailing. Let's go back to the previous screen again so I can explain a little more about the voting history. This easy events is the default option, but there are other choices. You can click events, and that allows you to do more complicated selections here. For instance, we could say, give me the voters that only vote in general elections by doing something like this. So in this case, we want voters that have never voted in any of these 3 primaries but have voted in at least 2 of these 3 generals. If this is a municipal or a special election, you can click the calendar there and put in a comma delimited list of other election dates that you want to use for your criteria. We have another video that goes into detail how to do that, but just know that it can be done. Then The other options are using our scoring system, which is a 1 through 99 prediction score, 99 being the highest, that allows you to do simple targets by just entering a score, and that will show you the voters that match that. What's great about the scoring system is if you have a known budget for a mailing, you can just vary that score until you get to the number of mailings that will reach that budget, and you're sure that you're getting the most efficient target for that mailing. And finally, advanced scores lets you do more complicated criteria using the scoring system. So let's go back to easy events and put in our original criteria again. Now on the group criteria page, this is where we can further refine our selection and do some micro-targeting. In our case, we have a don't mail group where we've added people that we know we never want to send mail. And we're going to choose the option to exclude every household that has any member in that don't mail group. We also may want to kick out people that we already know oppose and that we all already know support, and concentrate only on the people that we think are undecided. So after clicking this, so you can see now that our account is down to only 960 voters and 717 mailings. Now this is the where we select what we want to do with that target of voters. You can export them to bring it into a spreadsheet program or send to other systems. You can print labels. You can print postcards. The walk and canvassing options are discussed in another video, as are the other output options here.